Hi everyone, welcome to today's Chinese class. So as usual, before we started the new lesson, we are going to do a short overview of the vocabularies that we have learned from the last session. And as we also approach to the end of the first unit, I think it will be also good for us to do a short overview of the whole vocabularies that we have learned in the first unit. So first of all, let's focus on the vocabularies that we have learned from the last session and tell the differences between those synonyms. So firstly, 舒适 and 舒服。舒适侧重环境给人的整体感受。So 舒适 focuses on the overall objective feeling provided by the environment. Whereas 舒服侧重人身体、精神上的主观的具体的感受。So 舒服 focuses on the subjective and specific feelings of the body and spirit. So in short, 舒适 it describes something that is comfortable, and it is comfortable not because you think it is comfortable, it is because it's within its characteristics, so it exists physically independent of your feelings. However, 舒服attaches great importance to your own feelings and to your subjective ideas. For example, 洗完澡了，我感到很舒服。So I feel very comfortable after the shower. This is what I feel. It is subjective. It's related to my own feeling. So we are going to use 舒服. However, 这个沙发很舒适. The sofa is very comfortable. And we are going to use 舒适 because this is the comfortable characteristic of the sofa itself, and it exists objectively. Even though I didn't sit on that sofa, it is still comfortable. It's not related to my feeling. It's its own characteristic. So it's 舒适. And another difference is that 舒适 cannot be used as reduplication words, whereas 舒服 can be reduplicated and used as both an adverb or as a verb. And as an adverb, it's 舒舒服服, which means in a relaxed way. And as a verb, it's written 舒服舒服, which means to relax. So pay attention also to the order of the characters, because if you shift them, it can be used differently, and it can also mean different things. The second pair of synonyms is between 希望 and 盼望. So 希望 can be both a noun and a verb. As a noun, it is like the English word hope. For example, kid is the hope of their parents. And while using 希望 as a verb, it's actually functioning as hope or wish in English. For example, 我希望我有很多钱. I wish I had much money. 我希望明天天气很好. I hope the weather is fine tomorrow. 盼望呢? It is only a verb. It cannot be a noun. This is the first difference. And the second difference in the meaning itself, 盼望, it has an expectation from it. So actually, you are using 盼望 because you have a high expectation for something to happen or for someone's future. It can only be used with reference to other people and not to oneself. For example, 我非常盼望再见到她. I looked forward very much to seeing her again. And the major difference between 盼望 and 期望 is just because 盼望 it can express a higher expectation than 期望, but in the real world it functions almost the same. However, 期望 can function both as a verb and as a noun, but 盼望 can only be used as a verb. So pay attention to that. The third synonym is 冷静 and 平静. 冷静 means make someone calm down facing a terrible news, and in that case, it's used as a verb to make somebody 冷静一下, 冷静一下, calm down. It means just let it go or take it easy. It can also be used to describe a person who is cool-headed, and in this case, it is used as an adjective to express one person's characteristic, which is cool-headed. but it cannot be used to describe a thing. However, 平静 usually used to describe the peaceful feeling, just like it is so peaceful, and it can describe both a thing and a person. So, with some examples, it will make much more sense. First of all, 你先不要急，冷静一下。Don't panic, calm down. And in this case, it's used as a verb. Calm down, take it easy, don't panic. And the second one, 她面对问题很冷静。She is calm when facing problems. And pay attention to this normally when you describe somebody as 冷静, cool-headed. Is always facing a terrible news. So you see here, when facing problems, she is calm. 海面很平静. The sea is very calm, and it's to express your tranquil feeling. So we are going to use 平静 instead of 冷静. The fourth pairs of synonym is 知道, 了解, and 明白. 知道 means you just know something, but you don't need to understand it. 了解, you know it and you understand it. 明白, you understand something and you have a clear idea of what it is about. So if we make a list of the three words with different degrees, I would say the order will be the following: 知道, and then 了解, and then 明白. For example, 我知道这件事，了解整个事情发展的过程，但是我不太明白为什么他这么做。I know this, and I understand the whole development process, but I don't quite understand why he did it. So I know this, I know about this thing, I know it happened. 了解整个事情发展的过程， I understand all the details of the whole thing, how it entails, what happened during the process. 但是我不太明白为什么他这么做，but I don't know, I don't have a clear idea why he just did it. So I hope with this example you will understand 知道, 了解, 明白 what are the differences between these three words. And another thing to know is that for 了解, it can also mean to investigate. So, for example, 你去了解一下这件事情是怎么发生的. Go to find out how this happened. 了解 can also mean investigate. However, 知道 and 明白 doesn't have this meaning. The next one is 说明, 解释 and 告诉. 说明 can be used both as a verb and as a noun. 解释 as well, it can be both as used as a verb or a noun. But when 说明 and 解释 they are used as a verbs, they both mean explain. However, 说明 is more like a formal usage, whereas 解释 is quite informal by comparison to 说明. However, when they are used as a noun, 说明 means instruction, and 解释 is the real translation for explanation. So pay attention to this. 说明 when it is used as a noun, it cannot be used as explanation. And 告诉 is just a verb, which means tell. For example, 他们说明了此次前来谈判的原因。这个里面前来谈判的原因，这是一个宾语。This is an object, so before it is a verb. They explained the reason for the negotiation. And as we all know, the negotiation normally is very formal, so we used the verb explain to match the degree of negotiation. They explained the reason for the negotiation. 他们说明了此次前来谈判的原因。他们解释了发生这个问题的原因。They explained the reason for the problem. So the problem, it can happen like among friends, it can among teachers and students. It can be not that formal. So in that way, we can use 解释。他们解释了这个原因。If you use 说明，他们说明了发生这个问题的原因。It is valid as well. It's correct from a grammar point, and it's correct from the speaking point as well. But it just tells a different level of things. If you say 他们解释了发生这个问题的原因, it's more like a technician is explaining why a machine doesn't function, and he explaining this to the whole team. 他正在解释，他正在说明这个问题。So you see, 说明 is really in an really a formal way to explain. However, 解释 is more informal. And as a noun, 这是产品使用说明书. This is the product instruction manual. 恕我不能接受你的这个解释. I am sorry that I cannot accept your explanation. So as a noun, the differences between these two are quite obvious. 他告诉老板，客户今天会来公司考察. He told his boss that the client would visit the company today. So 告诉 is just a verb, which is the action of telling somebody something. Tell. So it's different from explain. It's just the action of telling. It doesn't have the meaning of explain the further reasons of something. And next, we are going to review a very important grammar point, which is the conjunctions. And as you know, like there are a lot of types of conjunctions. We are going to focus one type of conjunctions, which is the conjunction that express a condition. And in this type, there are 4 conjunctions that we are going to review. First of all, it is 只要, 就, as long as, then. So in this case, you see, as long as you plus a condition, and then the result will come, the result will be realized. 只要你学习就会通过考试. As long as you study, you can pass the test. So before 就, it is the condition. 你学习, this is the condition. So if you study, as long as you study, and then you will get a result, and the result is after 就. So 会通过考试. So if you study, as long as you study, you will pass the exam. Another example, 只要不开车就可以喝很多酒. Again, before 就, it is the condition. So as long as you don't drive, and the result is that you can drink a lot. You can drink a lot. So only if under the condition that you don't drive, so you can drink a lot. So as long as plus a condition, and then the result will be realized. The second one, 只有才, 只有才. Only if plus a condition, and then something, a result that you expected. For example, 只有你会说中文才可以去中国找工作. Only if you know how to speak Chinese, then you can go to China and look for work. So before 才 is also the condition. After 只有 is the condition. So the condition is that you can speak Chinese. And then what you can do, you can go to China to work. The second example, 只有不吃太多才不会变胖. Again, before 才 is the condition. 不吃太多, so don't eat too much. As long as, so only if you don't eat too much. And then you won't be fat. You won't get fat. 这个是只有才. Only if you do something, and then you can realize a result. The third one, 无论都, 无论都. Even though we say that we are talking about conjunctions that express a condition, however, here it's more on a reverse way. 无论, so no matter, and plus the condition. So no matter what the conditions are, the subject will always, 他们都要怎么做. And when you're talking about the conditions, you can add a 还是 to say two conditions. For example, 无论天晴还是下雨，我都会去跑步. So independent of whether it's nice or it's rainy outside, I will go running. 无论黑夜是多么漫长难熬，黎明始终会如期而至。However long and difficult the night may be, the sunrise will arrive at the same time. 无论多大的困难，只要努力都能克服。However big the problems are, you need to work hard to overcome them. 这个里面就是 no matter 这个 conditions 是怎么样的 no matter what are the conditions, the subject will always, however, the subject will always do something. 那这个里面最后一个例子需要大家注意一下，无论如何，you can regard it as an idiom. 无论如何 so no matter what happens, no matter what happens, 我都会帮助你 I will help you. Just remember it. 无论如何 it means no matter what happens. And the fourth one is 不管都 which means despite independent of a condition. You can also use 还是 to stick to conditions. And the subject will also. Actually, you may ask what the difference between 无论都 and 不管都. And in fact, they don't have much differences. It's just we have learned you have 无论如何 here, but you cannot say 不管如何. This is wrong. This is only difference. 无论如何 but you cannot say 不管如何. And for other parts, they are interchangeable. 不管辣不辣，我们也要吃. It doesn't matter if it's spicy or not. We need to eat it anyway. 无论辣不辣，我们都要吃. It doesn't matter if it's spicy or not. We will eat it. So you see, like it's interchangeable with 无论都。不管是苦还是累，不管是酷夏还是严冬，你都不要放弃学习。It doesn't matter how hard or tiring it is, however bitter a summer or severe a winter might be, you shouldn't give up your studies. 不管你是男生还是女生，不管成绩好还是成绩差，你也要努力学习。It doesn't matter you are a male or female, whether your results are good or bad, you need to study diligently. 那这些是我们有关条件关系关联词的复习。So these are the reviews for the conjunctions that express a condition. And now we are going to do a short review of the vocabularies that we have learned in the first unit. So the first topic is love. Love. And you can pause a little bit here with the list of the vocabularies, and you can see like whether you already know these vocabularies. If you don't know them, you can go back to the textbook to see the exact meanings, or you can also listen to me explain them one by one. But try to make sure after the review you can get a thorough understanding of these words. So first, 谈恋爱，谈恋爱。It is a verb. It means be in a relationship. 谈恋爱。那 if you want to say 我和他谈恋爱，I am in relationship with her. 和谁谁谁谈恋爱。Be in relationship with somebody. And then once you are in relationship with somebody, actually you are lovers, right? And for lovers, you can call yourselves as 情侣，情侣。And there are a lot of things designed for 情侣. For example, 情侣手机号. So in China, you have these kind of mobile numbers for the lovers. 情侣手机号. You can also have 情侣座位 in the cinema. 对吧？你可以在电影院有情侣座位. So the lover seats in the cinema. And if you are lovers, you can call each other as your 男朋友 or 女朋友, so your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And once you wanna step into a next stage, so you are going to talk about the marriage. And as a verb, if you are a girl and you are going to get married to a man, and you are going to use the verb 嫁. A girl, 一位女士嫁给了另外一位男士。A girl is married to another boy. 那 in reverse, 娶 it means a man, a boy get married to a woman. a girl. 一位男士娶了另外一位女士。So don't make mistakes with the order. So 女嫁男，男娶女。Okay? And the verb get married is 结婚，结婚。And the ceremony of your wedding, the wedding itself, is 婚礼. It is a noun. So try to distinguish these two. 结婚, it is a verb, which means get married. Whereas 婚礼, it is a noun, which means the wedding. And once you pass the wedding and you have passed all those legal procedures, you will become 夫妻, 夫妻, a couple, a couple. And you can call each other as 爱人, your lover. Or if you are a woman, you are going to call your husband as 丈夫, 先生, or 老公. However, 丈夫 and 先生 is more formal. You can use these words like 爱人丈夫先生 before other people that you don't know very well and you want to keep it in a formal way. You just say 我的爱人, 我的丈夫, 我的先生. However, if you wanna talk about your husband, for example, with your friend, with a close friend, you can use the 老公 for informal usage. And in parallel, you have all those spellings for your wife. You can call her your爱人 as well, or 我的妻子, 我的太太, or 我的老婆. And as 老公, 老婆 is also informal, so it's only used before close friends. And next, when we are talking about the harmonious relationship between the couple, you have these three idioms. 相敬如宾, to treat each other as guests. 相亲相爱, to be deeply devoted to each other, to love each other, to support each other. 相亲相爱。患难与共, to share weal and woe. 患难与共。And then you can take care of each other, 照顾彼此，对不对？照顾彼此。And you can also rely on each other, 依靠彼此，依靠彼此。But if you don't have a harmonious relationship, you might have some quarrel issues, and then you are going to have disputes. So 吵架, to quarrel with each other, to dispute with each other, 吵架. And if you had a huge fight, maybe later on you are going to get divorced. And then get divorced is 离婚, 离婚. And next topic is family. When we're talking about family, the first impression for me is always warm, 对吧？一个温暖的家庭, a warm place to be, a bright place to be, 一个明亮的家. And for a family, your parents can always sun dry your quilt, to dry your quilt in the sunshine, 晒被子，对不对？ And they can also cook a lot of food for you. And in the air, you might have a series of smile of the food which is floating in the air. So 飘来阵阵饭菜香. And sometimes you can also help your parents to clean the room. So 打扫屋子, or your parents, they will clean the room for you, 打扫屋子, depending on your relationships with each other. And on the occasion of festivals, normally in China, we tend to get together to get reunion. And for the word reunion is 团聚, 团聚. Now, family reunion is 家庭团聚, 家庭团聚. Another idiom to say to be with all the members of a family is 天伦之乐, 天伦之乐. So this is the supreme happiness of being with all the members of your family. 天伦之乐，一般是说老人 an old person, he can enjoy this happiness of being with his members of family. 他可以享有这样的天伦之乐。But sometimes like for some people, they cannot make it to go back home. So maybe in that case, for this family, it will look a little bit deserted. So 冷清，很冷清. So there's no person is quite deserted. Why it happened? Because China has adopted in the history this one-child policy. So to call those one child, it's 独生子女，独生子女。每一个家庭都有一个独生子女。但是呢 but now the one-child policy has been ended. It no longer exists. And when your parents they grew elder and they might need your help, one help is can be you need your help to hold them by your arms. So hold up somebody by your arms, by your hands. It's 搀扶，搀扶着某人，搀扶着你的家人。Hold them up with your arms. And sometimes you can also embrace your parents, and it is 拥抱，拥抱。Alright, and the last topic we learned is about work. The first word is 打工，打工, which means to do some gig job, to work for the others, to do some temporary jobs. And to describe people who do those temporary jobs is 打工者，打工者，打工的人，打工的人，打工者. So those people who do those temporary jobs. And 工人，工人 it is the worker, 工人。比方说，比较有经验的工人 experienced worker 有经验的工人technical worker 技术工人，技术工人。那工人一般在哪儿工作呢？工人一般在工地工作。So workers always working in this factory 工地，工地 or the place of construction 工地。And then to describe work, you can say 干活，干活。And actually 干活 it can not only to describe those blue collars, it can also be used for those white collars who worked in the office. So 他们在办公室干活 they worked in the office. 工人在工地干活 workers they are working in the construction sites. So 干活 can be used for both usages, and it's interchangeable with 工作, but 干活 is more informal, whereas 工作 it's formal. 挣钱, one of the reasons why you need to work is that you want to earn some money, right? So 挣钱, you want to 挣钱。那你挣到的这个钱叫什么呢？叫你的工资 your salary. 挣钱，挣工资。And actually, your salary can only be part of your treatments, right? Treatments is 待遇，待遇 here, treatments. Your treatments can include your salary, your 工资your bonus, 你的奖金，对吧？ And sometimes for most people, they want to have a stable life, so that they might need a stable treatments as well. Now, stable 稳定的，稳定的待遇，稳定的生活。It can also be used to describe somebody's grades, stable grades, a stable level. He has a stable level of the performance. So to describe stable, it's 稳定的，稳定的。And after some years accumulation, you might have your own savings. And in Chinese, savings, it is 积蓄，积蓄。And maybe when you make a lot of money, when you have a lot of 积蓄, you just want to resign to look more around this world. And to resign in Chinese, it's 辞职，辞职 to resign, to quit one's job. So this is the end of the whole review of the first vocabulary of the first unit, and I hope it is useful for you all. Try to review those words by yourselves as well, as many times as you can, and I'll see you later in the next lesson.